Alright guys, welcome to part 1 of our video series where we learn Python using your phone, right? Your smartphone. So I just wanna emphasize the importance of learning how to code a bit. So the reason we want to code, right? To learn coding, it's actually to automate certain tasks in our workplace. I'll make an example with myself. So basically at Inetech, all the invoices that are there and sent it to clients each and every month, they are all automatic. So they are all automated. Not just that, almost a lot of stuff in my company, it's automated. So, and the reason is because we only have 24 hours, and then we can only do so much, right? So coding really helps when it comes to those particular stuff. Anyway, enough about that. Let's look at how to actually code. So um let's cover some basics here. All right. So in order to actually display something on the screen, we use the command. Let's look at these commands, right? We use the command function. Let's just say function. Yeah, we use the function print to actually display stuff, right? So these, when I say hi there, it will display hi there, right? On the screen. As you can see, it says hi there. And another thing, just make sure when you are in this app that you close your internet access, right? So that you don't get those pop-outs of adverts and whatnot, those boring stuff. We just want this, we just want to use the software. Right, so this is how we display things on the screen. Now when you are using this software or this IDE, you'll notice that Python actually you can do mathematical calculations in it, and then it will do them. Like 1 plus 1, for example, when I run this, it's 2, right? It will be equals to 2, or 1 divided by 2, something like that. So 1 divided by 2, this, it's a half, right? 0.5. And we use this symbol for multiplication. So let's just say 2 times 3, this, right? You see it's not an X, right? I think they call it an asterisk or whatever. Yeah, so we use that symbol for multiplication. So as you can see, that will be 2 times 3, of which is 6, right? Now that we know about how to display things on the screen, let's look at other things. Okay, the display, it will be important, very important, because we'll keep on showing the user, the person using that program, right? Will be showing him or her whatever that we are actually, those answers and everything, right? So now let's look at something else. So for me to get inputs from the user, we have a command, right? And it's simple. That's one of the things that I like about Python. It keeps it simple. Print for displaying, input for input, right? So you use an input command saying input. So, and use those those quotations, right, to write whatever instruction that you want the user to do. So like enter a value or number, right? Maybe with a space there, and put that somewhere here. So as you can see there, now when I run this, it will say enter, what is this? All right, so yeah, like that, enter a value, right? So when I run this, it says enter a value, but what's important is that this, it can take inputs now, right? So when I enter like 3 and then press enter, it took that 3, to the program. So that's how you actually get values from the user, right? So these values can be sentences like names, enter your name, your password, all those kind of stuff, or they can be just simple integers like this, like simple numbers for calculation purposes. So so whenever you take something from that input command, right? So this is called an input stream. So whenever you get something from the input stream, right, it comes in a form of a string. What you want to do, you convert it if it's a number. Let me just stress that one. If it's a number, you'd want to convert it, right? But if it's a string, like enter your name, just say enter your name, of which is a string, right? So as you can see, it says enter your name. Okay, so I can write Dave and enter, right? So that one is a string. When it comes this side, it will be a string. Even a number will be a string too, right? But however, this one we would want it to remain as a string. You don't want to change it to anything. So okay, so the next thing is you want it to store this thing somewhere, right? You want to store whatever inputs from the user into a certain container, and those containers here are called variables. We use them to actually store whatever things that we want to store into them, right? So that we can use those particular things later. And let me show you what I mean right now. So I can have a variable, and variables are always on your left hand side, right? In Python, always on your left hand side. So I'm having the input command on the right hand side, right? I'm taking the input and then I'm storing it into a variable called name, which means later on I can say, what did I do? So which means later on I can say things like print, right? I can display these like and say your name is, right? And so the way you combine a string with a string in in um in Python, you just say plus, right? Plus means I want to add these in at the end of my string. So notice something. I went outside those quotation because name is defined by the user, right? So I went outside. I didn't write it here. I didn't write name here inside. No, I went outside those quotations because name is defined here, right? So which means the program knows what is name. Name is the input that it gets from the user, right? Stores into name. All right, so let's run this now. So when I'm like Dave here, you see your name is Dave. It says your name is Dave. Let's go back. Say this. We use a variable to store inputs or whatever that we want to store so that we can use it later. And now when we go to the print statement, that variable, we don't put it under quotation. We don't put the variable under the quotation marks because it's already defined. Okay,